Hello, Stewart 89. Well, today was a sad day. We lost Grant Imahara. I didn't really watch MythBusters. I saw a few episodes and I thought, oh, he's cute. What does he do? Oh, okay, interesting. Wasn't enough to make me watch the show. But then I saw Star Trek Continues, and I loved Star Trek Continues. Unlike Star Trek New Voyages or what was the other name for it? It had two names. That was the problem. The show changed. Sort of started off sort of not so good quality, jumped quickly, and then they sort of changed it around. Then it went back to, and it was all over the place. But Star Trek Continues started off and was consistent. And he was on that. He played Sulu, and he was great. And he wasn't the best actor, like most of the people on that show, but he was there because he loved Star Trek. He understood Star Trek, and his enthusiasm, especially which you could see in his interviews, and that was really great. I kind of envied him in a way. He actually worked at Industrial Light and Magic for 9 years. And I don't know, he just seemed like a really sweet, really nice guy. The last thing that I was aware of him doing was he was building an animatronic Baby Yoda, which he was planning to take to children's hospitals to cheer up sick children. I mean, what more can you get from someone for being wonderful? And it's just really sad. He died suddenly of a brain aneurysm. He had a wife, Jennifer. Oh my God, I've lost my notes again. Jennifer Newman. She was a designer, and she also built killer robots. They got married a few years ago. She seemed really nice in interviews and everything. It's just really sad. I think I said, he died suddenly of a brain aneurysm, so it wasn't expected. He was only 49. And yeah, I just cried. It just made me so sad. I expected to meet him at one of the Star Trek conventions because he had done a few because of his Sulu role, and also just he's sort of like a cult person because of MythBusters anyway. And they did a follow-up show sort of to that after MythBusters fell apart. They did another show which I've now forgotten the name of. Damn it. I knew of it. I heard when they were making it, but kind of like the original, I'm not really into technical stuff on that level, but it's very sad. I was expecting to meet him. I really wanted to meet him, along with a few other people from the fan films. Not all of them, because yeah, but some of them I really wanted to meet. So that was really sad. Brighter news: Patrick Stewart is still kicking. He just hit 80. My mum got to 79, didn't get to 80, so it's nice to see Patrick Stewart get to 80. You know, let's hope he gets 90, maybe even 100. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing for his birthday. I don't think there's a lot he can do. He's probably kind of having to hide from COVID. I know Sir Ian McKellen sent him some sonnet or something. So, I mean, I met Patrick kind of twice. The first time I just sort of saw him and sort of snapped a photo and kind of scared him because I was hiding somewhere and jumped out. And then I was supposed to ask him a question. I was the last person in a room, and then they just cut it off before that, and he sort of looked at me and I sort of looked at him. He was like, we couldn't do anything. It was just like he had to go, and I'm like, okay. And then like years later I met him at a convention and I told him that story. I don't know, and he just was really nice, and I just told him the story that I wanted to tell him back then, and that it meant a lot to me, and that I'd waited that long to tell him again. And it was a moment. It was nice. He seems like a really sweet, genuine guy. I don't think he has any idea what made Star Trek work, and what he did with Picard was he seems to have some white guilt, and he seemed to have to pull Picard out of his privileged existence and kill him and make him a minority, being a synthetic, which is kind of fascinating when you sort of kind of look at his psychology and the character and Hollywood and the current Star Trek. I don't want to be negative, but the current sort of state of Star Trek, it's kind of fascinating that they went that route with the character. But I love him, and he's a good actor. I'm just not sure he really got Picard. If you've sort of paid attention to the films and his input with the films, wanting to be an action star, and that it's kind of interesting. There's a lot of actors who really didn't get their characters in Hollywood. If you sort of study a bit of Hollywood history and listen to a lot of interviews and stuff of actors, it's really fascinating. Actually, some people just totally didn't get what they were doing, and just the fact they managed to do as well performance-wise is really fascinating. And I just wanted to do a video because of Grant. I just sort of felt so sad. I posted a bunch of stuff all over any of the Star Trek Facebooks that would allow my posts, because I was so sad. And I think when you want to work in cinema and you want to work on something like Star Trek and you don't get to, when you grow up and that's your dream, when you see people who get that position, like Alex Kurtzman and stuff like that, and they don't appreciate it, they just degrade the show, it's really hard. But then when you see someone who loves the show and gets an opportunity to work on it, even in a fan film capacity like Grant, and they really appreciate it and they love it, and you see the joy, it just makes it a lot easier for you not to be involved, to see other people appreciating the opportunity they have. There's nothing worse than seeing someone not appreciate something they have that you want. I would have loved to have worked in ILM. That was my dream job when I was growing up as a kid, and then I realised that CGI wasn't going to exist, so obviously I didn't even think of going that direction as an adult. But when I was growing up, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to work in special effects. I wanted to make like starship models and work in the effects area. Although it didn't die totally. George kept it alive. He kept a lot of practical effects in the prequel series, actually, more than people realise. There was a lot of CGI as well. He really, really advanced the CGI, but he also kept some practical models and elements in it, because he knew that the technology wasn't enough to totally take over at that point. So there was still some stuff kicking into the early 2000s, but it didn't last that long. So I sort of knew that. But that was like my dream job, and he got to do that for 9 years. So he was very lucky. So obviously he had a great life, but no one should die at 49. So what else has happened in Star Trek? The Lower Decks has sort of had it's been kicked around quite a bit. No one is loving it. You have your usual Star Trek fans who just love anything that comes out, because I don't know what the deal is with those people. Some of them are paid to make comments and make reviews, and other people are just eternally optimistic and positive and refuse to see the negative no matter what. A lot of people are the opposite. They will just focus on the negative no matter what. I'm trying to be in the middle. My thoughts with it is, there's a chance it could be good and the trailer was just full of the worst, but you look at Picard and Discovery and you realise who ultimately are calling the shots, and they don't know Star Trek, hate Star Trek, and are making Star Trek for everyone other than the fans, because they know the larger audience is the non-Star Trek fans. So it's just, they seem to be trying to degrade Star Trek and bring it down to their level of lowbrow, unintelligent. But again, I don't want to be negative. It's just freaking hard for Star Trek to be positive these days. Although they did finally release the Star Trek Starfleet teacup from... it's actually not from... Yeah, it's from Star Trek 6. I think that was the first time they featured it, was in Star Trek 6, when they had the state dinner on the Enterprise. And of course, we're more familiar with Sulu's one from the Excelsior, the opening shot of Star Trek 6, or... Is it the opening shot or the second shot? No, the explosion is the opening shot. The second shot is the teacup. I always wanted one, and they've done some sort of fan exclusive, and I'm hoping I can get one. I know years and years ago they made one, and I couldn't get it because I was a kid, and it was like in America. My mum wouldn't let me order anything from overseas because she never believed it would actually get here in the mail. So there's a lot of mail stuff I never got that I really wanted, and that was one. I really want to have that. So that got me excited for a few seconds, and then I'm like, it's a convention exclusive. I may never get one. I'm like, no, someone will sell one because they want to make money. So I'm just going to focus on that. And I'm not going to watch Star Trek Continues. I kind of wanted to, to honour Grant, but I know it's just going to make me really sad, so I'm going to avoid it until I'm no longer sad, and then I'll watch it later on. I'll have a little marathon later on, which I was sort of planning anyway. So, yep, R.I.P. Grant, and happy birthday, Patrick. And yeah, like I said, my YouTube videos are kind of therapy at the moment in the Ronaverse, the Rona Zone. So I had to make a video and say something, but I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Yeah. Oh, the other thing that happened, aside from Kelly Preston dying of breast cancer, which John Travolta announced, and that is his second wife who died of cancer. When he was very young, his wife, I think, died of cancer. I know she died, I think it was cancer. She was one of the actors on 8 is Enough. And the other thing, the actress from Glee, was it Naya Rivera? I don't know how to pronounce her name. The nasty cheerleader, the really, really nasty one. She was brilliant, but she was just nasty. The character. They found her body, and the Glee cast reunited basically to say goodbye to her on the edge of the lake, and that was just sad to see as well. So a lot of sad stuff today. So I guess we just have to focus on Patrick Stewart still kicking. Not looking forward to season 2, although Picard is dead. He's gone. This is just a synth. So it kind of doesn't matter what he does now with the character. That's the good thing about him killing the character. He can no longer do damage to the character. So I guess we just need to look forward to him living, because he is a gift. He's beautiful, and his relationship with Sir Ian McKellen is beautiful as well, who just celebrated 30 years of being out. He came out in 1990. So I'm just going to focus on that and go back to what I was doing. And yep, have a nice day.